On Tuesday night, Matt Latos dominated the Diamondbacks. He was awesome in a 3-0 shutout. Wednesday was Jose Day. He was sharp in a tight one in the desert. Last night, Tom was terrific, and the Marlins made it 3 in a row on the road. Tonight in San Diego, Dan Herron gets the ball. Miami goes for 4 straight. The Marlins, the Padres, late night with the fish, kids.
One of the great destination cities in the world is San Diego, and the Marlins are here in some of the best weather you'll ever find. Petco Park, the Fish, and the Padres. Game 2, 4-game set. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. You just saw in that montage great starting pitching, and Tom Koehler had the ball here last night. Tom Koehler was outstanding. The Marlins have won 3 straight on the road, and that's news.
Great to see Tom Koehler, who, remember, early in the year really had struggles on the road. His last 4 starts away from Miami have been absolutely tremendous. The Marlins went up against a tough one last night, too, in Tyson Ross.
The news that broke today dealt with Steve Cishek. Of course, the Marlins falling back in the East, teams looking for hearts that they might plug in, and the St. Louis Cardinals, who know all about Steve Cishek, came calling. The Marlins get a good arm, a double-A closer out of it. As a result, Andre Rienzo comes up from New Orleans to fill Cishek's roster spot. He'll be missed.
Rich, they say timing is everything, and I ran into Steve in the lobby as he was checking out of the hotel. We chatted a little bit. He's happy that the ball club he's going to has spring training where his home is in Jupiter, Florida, so no problem there. He was also very complimentary of what the Marlins did to him in his career, and we wish him nothing but the best.
Hey, we should be complimentary to him. He was terrific to work with, and we wish him luck in St. Louis. A guy that was drafted by St. Louis long ago gets the ball for Miami tonight, and that's Dan Herron. He knows this place well. He was born and raised here in California and has pitched in this division against the Padres a lot.
He's pitched well here. He's had 12 career starts against the Padres, and right now Dan Herron just wants to continue what the other starters have done before him, take this game at least through 7 innings.
Now the Padres go with a big right-hander out of Texas whose numbers don't match up with his potential or expectations.
You talk about a guy who has a live fastball. He's 3rd in the National League in fastball velocity at 95 miles an hour. You know what? Cashner's name's been mentioned a little bit in trade rumors, too.
All right, speaking of trade, we'll have more on the deal today. Steve Cishek, Dan Jennings will talk about Shrek, talk about the arm in return, and talk about the Padres. Miami and San Diego coming up.
Blaylock. Jess?
Well, you guys have been talking so much about that Steve Cishek trade. From the front office to his teammates, so many people sad to see him go, including assistant general manager Mike Berger and manager Dan Jennings.
You're obviously disappointed to see a guy like Shrek go, how much he means to the club, how much he means to his teammates in the clubhouse. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in right now, and it's an opportunity to get younger, get better, and hopefully, hopefully there's a replacement in the near future.
It was mixed emotions. When I got the phone call this morning from Michael Hill that the trade had been consummated, we called Shrek on the phone, and it was a very heartfelt conversation. You know it's the business of baseball. At the same time, when you have a guy that you see grow through your system, and this the character of who Steve Cishek is, and the wonderful person, the way he respected his teammates and his teammates respected him, and then you watch him evolve into a very successful closer. Truly, that speaks volumes about his character as a man and his desire and drive as a baseball player.
As part of the move, the Marlins have once again called up Andre Rienzo. Rienzo appeared in 3 games earlier this season for the Fish and threw in 7 innings. When we do return, it is first pitch between the Marlins and the Padres in Game 2 of this 4-game series. The Fish took Game 1. They have now won 3 straight. They will look to make it 4 tonight. Rich Waltz and Tommy Hutton will have the call next.
Toyota, let's go places by Kaiser University. For more information, go to kaiser.edu, and by Auto Nation. Visit us online, autonation.com. Petco Park, Andrew Kashner leads the Padres. On to the Diamond, Marlins and Padres. This is a 4-game series. Miami winners last night by a score of 4-0. Jam Lexus brings you the lineup that didn't get started till late, but they got started and they got 4 runs for the win. Ichiro Suzuki, Martin Prado, Christian Yelich, a great run right now. Justin Bour hits cleanup. Casey McGee at 3rd, hitting 5th. Cole Gillespie in center field, hitting 6th. Jeff Mathis in the 7th spot and doing the catching. Denny Echeverria in the 8th spot. Dan Herron is slotted 9th.
Yeah, there's a good look at the 28-year-old right-hander. He's 6'5", goes about 230. Andrew Kashner has a live arm, good fastball. Last year he had some elbow and shoulder issues, was on the DL a couple of times, but
making his 19th start here tonight. The record really deceiving when you see 3-10 and an ERA just a little over 4. He has always pitched very well here at Petco Park. Take a look at the defense behind Cashner, brought to you by BMW. The Uptons get a chance to start together with Justin in left, Melvin in center, Matt Kemp, the right fielder. Brett Wallace, we've seen him before with the Astros. Clint Barmas, it's short. Alexi Amarista, second baseman. Yandro Alonso, you know who he is. He's at first. And Derek Norris behind the plate.
Padres middle of the road in their defensive numbers. Dan Jennings and the Fish trying to win 4 straight tonight. Ichiro digging in on what is an incredible night weather-wise here in San Diego. The weather here is always great, but the last couple of nights has just been astounding. Pinch Benny brings you the first pitch, and it's a knee-high fastball to Ichiro. The count is 0-1. Ichiro last night was 0 for 5. Hits were tough to come by early in the game, and the Marlins bunched them together in the 6th to pick up their 4 runs. There's your weather, 75 degrees, mild, pleasant. You are looking live at what was that, Coronado Bridge? Tommy Hutton, Jessica Blaylock, Rich Waltz with you. We are in downtown San Diego, and Ichiro fights that one off and fouls it away. He's behind the count, 0-2.
And Rich, you would be the anchorman on that San Diego weather team.
Just don't take Baxter for a ride over that bridge, will you? Cashner, 6'5", 225, and he buries a breaking ball off of the chest of Derek Norris.
Been a rough go for Ichiro over the last few games. He had that triple, remember the triple in Arizona, but just 1 for 14. Played a number of games here at Petco. This is his 29th game that he's played at Petco.
In the age of interleague play, it's easy to find natural rivals. For the Marlins, it's the Rays. The Cubs, it's the White Sox. Yankees, Mets, Giants, A's. Seattle and San Diego, natural rivals, sort of.
Well, it's because the Dodgers took the Angels.
Right.
And so they weren't available.
That's what you were left with, was the team the most north and the team of the most south in the West Coast. They were the natural rivals, so they would play twice in interleague. 3-2. And fouled there from Ichiro.
Yeah, the Marlins on a nice roll. They've won 3 straight on the road for the first time all year. They were trying to make it 4 straight against the Padres.
Ichiro lashes that one into the seats.
Good battle. Ichiro giving Andrew Cashner a good one.
Big expectations certainly for both teams coming into this 2015 season. See the Fox tracks. Pitch number 9 coming to Ichiro. And it's up, and Ichiro walks. And the theme from the very outset of our telecast tonight, starting pitching, that gets you, especially on the road, on a nice win streak.
Boy, it really helps you win games. It helps you set up your bullpen. Latos, Fernandez, Kohler, all going 7 innings. And look at Latos, 84 pitches in his 7. Just a terrific job by Tom Kohler last night against this Padre ball club. So the starting pitcher has set all of it up.
Mike Goff, Dan Jennings watching. Ichiro from first. Cashner's pitch. Prado goes after a fastball and fouls it back. Martin Prado last night was 1 for 4. The Marlins banged out 10 hits, all of them singles. Amazing, because the previous night in Arizona, just about everything was an extra base hit.
Now, they packed a lot of those singles consecutively in the 6th inning, too.
Yeah, 5 straight, and gave them a 4-0 lead, and that's all they needed for Tom Kohler, who really has turned it around on the road and is having a wonderful season. You look at Kohler's ERA now, it's down to 3.16. Prado takes, and that one just missed. Cashner coming down to the front of the mound And looking in at Alfonso Marquez. You've got Tom Hallion at first. Hey, a Tom Hallion game tomorrow night. Dan Bellino's at second. Chris Siegel's at third. That's your umpiring quartet. A gorgeous night in San Diego. Ichiro from first. And he dives back on the throw from Cashner.
Rich, to punctuate what Tom Kohler's done, his last 4 starts on the road, an ERA of 1.44.
Ichiro runs, got a great jump. Norris's throw is in the dirt, and Ichiro is out. Well, it appeared as if Ichiro got to the bag before the throw, but the second base umpire, Dan Bellino, was right on there. The one thing you think about is maybe his legs or feet came off the bag.
That's what I'm thinking about, because he certainly beat the throw. And the thought is, did he come up off the bag? It appears he's not arguing.
Oh, he's safe, right? I mean, the foot got there well, and it never came off. Look at his foot underneath him.
Wow, he never came off the bag. He's on the bag right here when the tag's applied. Never came off the bag, and I think that'll be overturned because Ichiro was safe.
You know, the crowd just saw it up on the brand new HD screen, the largest replay screen in the National League, and he's safe by a bunch.
The umpires right now that are down there on headsets talking to the fellas in New York, they don't even need to do that right now if they had looked up on the big scoreboard and seen the play. And I'm sure Dan Bellino, who made the call, the second base umpire, he's seen the same thing. Look at the way the ball is caught by Amarista, the second baseman. That really created Ichiro to pick up that stolen base. And he doesn't come off the bag. The thought was maybe he did. If it's a stolen base, it's number 9, and it's also number 496 in his career.
You wonder why it's taking so long, although they do need definitive proof to overturn the call. And he's safe. Ichiro is headed back out to second base. So a stolen base for Ichiro. The at-bat that was interrupted will resume with Martin Prado, and Ichiro dashes out to second. The Marlins with a runner in scoring position. Counts 2-2.
And I think no argument from this crowd here tonight because they saw it up on the big screen.
You're right. They were resigned about 2 minutes ago. Prado fouls it back, and now Prado, even though he's got 2 strikes, if he can hunt and search and find something to hit to the right side, you know he's the type of hitter that will.
Yeah, right now Prado is in move the runner mode, as you said, Rich, even with 2 strikes.
Christian Yelich on deck. Ichiro out at second. Ooh, outside corner. Cashner stayed out, and Prado caught looking.
Yeah, this is a surprise. You really think Prado's thinking something away. This ball really moved back. That's why he was fooled. It looked like it was going to stay off the plate and had terrific movement. Came back and caught the outside corner.
That's a perfect pitch. Now Yelich. The renaissance of Christian Yelich has been a lot of fun to watch, and we saw it start to happen once he got healthy. All of a sudden started identifying strikes again like he did last year, and boy, he has just gone off. Now you look at that number there, the 271 average, and that really doesn't tell the story. Yelich fouls that off. Since June 27th, Yelich is hitting .397 in 21 games, .397, and his on base in that span is the best in baseball at .494.
Yeah, that tells the story there. First of all, that doesn't tell you he's healthy. It just tells you he's seeing the ball, better swings, good at bats. It's just been a really nice run, but it's been a run that we all were looking forward to and a run that we expected, especially since he got healthy.
Our good friend Clay Hensley on the San Diego Padres pregame show singing the praises of Christian Yelich. Yelich, a high fastball, he fouls it off. This is fun to watch. You've got Andrew Cashner, who is a high velocity guy. There's only 3 guys that average better in terms of velocity right now in the National League. That's Matt Harvey and Garrett Cole. Average fastball velocity at 95.0 miles per hour. Although you would expect Jose Fernandez to pop into that list when he has a few more starts.
He'll pop into that list. Exactly right. Yeah, Harvey averages 96 miles an hour. Garrett Cole a little over 95.5. So Cashner's right there.
Full count. Not uncommon for a Christian Yelich at bat. Strike 3 called. Yelich didn't like it. Let's see if he's right. Cashner caught the corner to strike out Prado. Let's see if he catches the outside edge to get Yelich. No. And once again, whenever we see Christian Yelich in that situation, he is right.
We saw Derek Norris, the catcher. He's setting up out there. He didn't move the catcher's mitt too much, even though the pitch was off the plate.
So if Miami's going to get anything out of this inning, it's up to Justin Bour, and he fouls that pitch back and out of play. Bour getting a base hit against the shift.
That was good to see
last night. And the Padres tonight are playing almost standard defense. There's really not much shift at all on the infield.
I think the other part of that, Rich, is the fact that Cashner averages 95 miles an hour too with his fastball.
Pitch is up and in. I asked Bour today, do teams pitch him to the shift or against the shift? And he said it's kind of half and half. Some teams will crowd him in if they're shifted. Other teams will pitch him away even though they are shifted.
And we've seen some teams shift a lot more than others.
That one smoked and fair into the corner. A ringing double for Justin Bour, and Miami is on the board. My goodness. Speed off the bat, hit it so hard it stayed fair.
Yeah, it's exactly right. He hit it too hard to go foul. A lot of times you hit this ball and you hook it foul. It was 86 miles an hour. Maybe a changeup, maybe a little cutter in, but Justin Bour reacted extremely well. Got his hands in, smoked it past the first baseman Yonder Alonso, and kept it fair. A big 2-out base hit.
Now Casey McGee, 1 for 4 last night. All right, here's your exit speed, 103 miles an hour. So it came in at 85 and it went out at 103. McGee drives that to center field. Melvin Upton is there, and he makes the catch. Miami on the board first. Dan Herron takes the ball next. And here come the Padres. Their lineup brought to you by JM Lexus. Alexi Amarista is at second base. Yonder Alonso at first. Matt Kemp in right. Kemp last 11 games strong. Justin Upton, this is his first start in 4 ball games. Brett Wallace makes a rare appearance at third base. Derek Norris will do the catching. Melvin Upton Jr. in center. Clint Barmas, the veteran, is at shortstop. Andrew Kashner hits ninth. And little Alexi Amarista stands in. 84 miles an hour and a strike from Heron.
Now there are the numbers. Dan Heron making his 20th start. Nothing unusual. Remember, 10 years in a row he's averaged 30. So nothing unusual for Dan Heron to be consistent, to stay healthy, and take the ball every 5 days.
And not unusual to be on this mound. This is his 21st start against the Padres, his 13th in this ballpark. Of course, Heron, a Southern California guy.
Here are the numbers here at Petco in his 12 previous starts.
Boy, what a different environment from his last start. Dan Heron's last start was
weather-wise.
Philadelphia. It was 95 with high humidity. The Marlins lost a player to the heat. Remember, Miguel Rojas became nauseous and had to leave the game. Guys were really struggling with it. And here Heron is pitching in absolutely perfect conditions at 75 degrees. Here's the defense. It's brought to you by BMW.
And there's a look at the defense. What a couple of terrific plays Christian Yelich made last night in left field. Cole Glover, Cole Gillespie in center. Ichiro's in right field. Casey McGee, Echeverria, Martin Prado, and Justin Bohr around the infield. Jeff Mathis gets the start tonight behind the plate.
Yonder Alonso, the 28-year-old, Cuban-born, raised in Miami, drives it to center. Gillespie turns side saddle, makes the catch. And there's 2 outs. That brings up Matt Kemp. We talked about the high expectations on both sides. The Marlins have had some issues, certainly in a few areas, injuries, run production. And for Dan Jennings, just trying to get some consistency and get some healthy bodies back. For the Padres and Pat Murphy, well, he's an interim manager. His first season, he's 12-18, taking over for Bud Black, trying to get the Padres turn. Darren Balsley is pitching coach, who was the same pitching coach under Bud Black. The staff really didn't change at all. Just Murphy, who was managing in AAA for the Padres, came in.
Yeah, he was 4 or 5 years managing in their minor league system, having coached before at the collegiate level. He was at Notre Dame. He was at Arizona State very successfully.
And part of those big expectations, guys like Matt Kemp, James Shields. Kemp drives it to right center field, hits it pretty well. Ichiro after it, reaches, and he got it! Ichiro crashes into the wall, holds on. An incredible catch in right center field. 41 years old and still getting it done. The 10-time Gold Glover, Ichiro. of Famer in right field.
Well, that's amazing. The game's been about 20 minutes long. Ichiro has had a great at-bat, drawn a walk, stolen a base, scored a run, and made a great catch.
Cole Gillespie takes inside. And a lot of love for Ichiro. Dan Herron waited for him. The whole dugout was just all fired up to greet Ichiro. They love him. I mean, it really has been neat to see from the very first day of spring training the relationship of a guy that had no ties to the organization, no ties to anybody on the roster, and came in a bit of a mystery, and to everybody's delight has been just incredible to work with, play with, and be around.
Rich, I actually think his closest ties were to you with your time in Seattle. But he has been fun.
Yeah, he has been. All the Marlins action, certainly on social media. Just go behind the scenes. Fox Sports Florida, at Fox Marlins on Twitter and Instagram. Get you all the accounts of Marlin players. Jeff Mathis now. The Danny Echeverria to follow.
Cashner trying to bring that pitch count down. He threw 26 in that first inning.
Well, he rears back and just challenges you. Cashner with a little bit of a throwback Randy Johnson type look as far as the hair goes. It's not full mullet, but it's close. And a nice bunt. Cashner off the mound, and he throws a bullet to get Mathis.
Well, that's a heck of a play for any pitcher, especially if you're 6'5". Cashner got over there quickly and then threw a bullet to first base. Good try by Jeff Mathis, just trying to get on base. But he was picked by Andrew Cashner, who, remember, when he was in the Cubs organization, he was thought of more as a reliever.
Danny Echeverria. If you watch Marlins Live and you heard Preston Wilson talk about Echeverria in the 8th spot, he kind of documented the numbers that, for whatever reason, magical, mystical, psychological, Echeverria is better in the 8th spot for whatever reason.
Kind of a magical mystery tour for Echeverria around the batting order, but he is settled into the number 8 spot, and it's probably why Dan Jennings, even with Jeff Mathis in the lineup tonight, probably why he kept Etch in that number 8 spot.
Echeverria, 327 average in the 8 hole this season. 205 in all other spots in the batting order. Why do you think he has success in the 8th spot?
You know, it's just a comfort. There's no answer to that. It's probably a comfortable feeling. Possibly when he's in other spots, he thinks about it too much and tries to do a little too much.
He could not check his swing. He goes around. Cashner gets a strikeout, and Miami is done in the 2nd. In San Diego, it's 1-0.
Bottom of the second. Well, the Marlins are currently riding a 3-game win streak, and a big reason why, they're getting quality starts from their staff. Not only has it been fun to watch, but the pitchers themselves are having a good time with it as well. Tom Kohler threw 7 scoreless innings last night. After the ballgame, Dan Herron sent out this tweet, a nice picture of Kohler standing in front of a fan, and he said this man was on top of his game tonight. He certainly was, guys. You mentioned how much better Kohler has been on the road as of late. He has really hit his stride.
You always love it when players involve the other guys in their social media. Nice job, Jessica. As Dan Herron, I throw 88 is his Twitter handle. Tom Kohler might want to rewrite his Twitter handle because it used to be I'm really good at home, and now he's been dynamite on the road. And his ERA, as we pointed out, is in the low 3s right now. Kohler is putting together a very, very good season.
And just the turnaround from home to road has been just a great step in the right direction for Tom Kohler.
Justin Upton right now reaches out, pops it up. Martin Prado on the outfield grass makes the catch, and the Marlins get the Padres left fielder. Brett Wallace, Derek Norris will follow for San Diego. Let's talk about the Padres and the expectations. With all the payroll they took on, A.J. Preller was the rock star GM at the winter meetings. Not only in the rotation, but also in the everyday lineup. And for the Padres right now, they sit at 44 and 52. Here's Brett Wallace, which has them not only behind the Giants and the Diamondbacks, but also behind, well, Giants, Diamondbacks, and Dodgers, and just ahead of the Rockies. Wallace pulls a ground ball to second. Prado is there and gets the out. So 2 quick ones for Dan Herron. Marlins are home on Tuesday, and it's a half-price Tuesday on the 28th. Marlins and Nationals at 7:10. Lexus Legends Platinum tickets for half price, or great discounts on tickets in other categories. Marlins.com, as it's Jose Day. Jose Fernandez makes that start on Tuesday night against the Nationals.
Well, you want to see a ton of support for the ball club for Jose that night. Got a chance, I think, to be against Jordan Zimmerman.
On paper, if everything holds, Derek Norris, former Oakland Athletic, he was a nice add to this Padre mix, coming off an all-star season last year in Oakland, and one of the best with runners in scoring position, and a very healthy 361 on base percentage last year as well. Hammers that one to left field. Yelich cuts it off. Norris around first, and that's all he's going to get. Boy, Yelich is playing the heck out of left field, isn't he? I mean, no surprise he's a Gold Glover, but the last week, remember the 2 balls he ran down in Phoenix and then 2 catches yesterday?
This is one of those non-plays. I mean, you don't get an assist, you don't get a put out, but because of his speed and his jump and his quickness, he was able to get over there, cut it off, and hold Norris to the single. Does sabermetrics factor in a non-play like that?
Yes. Yes, because in that play,
you might have me then a little bit.
Yelich holds him to a single rather than a double. Now Melvin Upton. Now Melvin Upton is not having a great year, and he struggled for the last 3 years, including this one. But against Dan Herron, he's got some numbers. He's 11 for 37, 297 with 6 home runs. And he fouls that one out of play. And that's one of the conundrums that the Padres find themselves in with the Uptons is that Justin, who is the more productive player, is a free agent at the end of the year. And Melvin, who has struggled for the last 3 seasons, is due $33 million over the next 2 seasons. His contract is not done until 2017 is over.
That's just amazing. He hasn't been. Injuries have certainly played into it, but he just hasn't been the player that you and I saw in his early years with Tampa Bay.
He was a dynamic player.
Yeah, he was a
Rays.
game changer.
Speed in center, great defender, a guy that would surprise you with power, and part of a team that got themselves to the World Series and lost to the Phillies. Norris the runner at first. And that went into left field. And so Melvin Upton with a base hit. And here comes Barmes.
Well, he's had such a tremendous track record against Dan Herron that he's gone up there with, I'm sure, a really comfortable feeling. Got a pitch out over the plate and hammered it into left field.
Couple of 2-out hits for San Diego here in the second. Here's Clint Barmes, the 36-year-old veteran who was part of the mix in Pittsburgh for the last 3 seasons. And he fouls it back and out of play. You see Barmes' numbers this year much improved from an injury-filled last year. He played just 48 games for the Pirates. But a guy that Clint Hurdle swears by, had him in Colorado, brought him to Pittsburgh.
He's one of those guys, solid guy if you started, or if he comes off the bench, he can play short, he can play second, a little third. And you kind of know what you have in Clint Barmes.
Derek Norris at second, Melvin Upton Jr. at first. Hit him. It hit him. I'm not sure if it was the shoulder or the forearm. But Barmes is aboard now. That loads the bases, and here is Cashner.
Let's see if there was a big attempt to get out of the way. Not really. You'd kind of like, if you're Pat Murphy, the manager of the Padres, you'd kind of like Barmes to get out of the way instead of getting hit and allowing Cashner to come up with the bases loaded.
So it's Herron and it's Cashner. And a breaking ball is swung on and missed. Now Herron has a fastball that's not overpowering. In fact, it's probably tailored to most pitchers as hitters. But what he has to do when he faces a guy like Cashner is mix it up like that.
Yeah, and you can see what he's done on the first 2 pitches.
He doesn't want to just pipe him 3 fastballs because he'll catch up to 86.
With his velocity, it's a kind of a pitcher's delight, kind of what they like to see. What they don't like to see is what Herron's thrown him the first 2 pitches.
Let's see if he throws him another one. This puts a lot of pressure on Jeff Mathis.
Little cutter, little show me cutter.
And he left it away from the plate where he couldn't get hurt. Bases filled with Padres. 1-0 Miami. 2 outs here in the second. Yep. 3 breaking balls.
You knew it was coming.
Because I think Cashner knew it was coming. He still couldn't hit it. Herron escapes. 1-0 Miami. Crazy 8 Wednesday is coming up. We told you about the Nationals on Wednesday the 29th. Bring your Chevron receipt of 8 gallons of gas or more to the Marlins ticket office at Marlins Park. You get your choice of an $18 Lexus Legends level ticket or a $28 home plate box ticket. Some Marlin fans here in San Diego. We've seen them in and about the gas lamp. A great area neighborhood, which I'm telling you, every year we come back, there is a new gleaming tower that has sprung up beyond the outfield wall that looks right into downtown. Heron takes outside. Condos, lofts, high-tech offices. None of this stuff was here when they built this ballpark. And it's been amazing to watch this place just blossom. 2004 is when they opened Petco Park.
This area, Rich, has probably been revitalized more than any area in a downtown area that we've seen.
I would agree. I would say before this, Colorado. And the Lodo district. 2-1 pitch. And it's outside. Now you got Cashner facing Heron. There's a look. Petco Park now, as you're looking straight out to center field, that's right into downtown. That big building there with the flag on top, that was not here last year. Sempra Energy, that big building. Fox Sports San Diego's office. That's handy to have it in right center, and you from their studios look right into the ballpark. Aaron sprays a ground ball Amarista's way, and he gets the out. There's one out here in the third. One thing they have changed in the ballpark, and I'm talking about outside the ballpark, the dimensions. In 2013 and in 2014, they have moved fences in. You see that scoreboard in left, how big it is. It's the biggest in the National League. That prompted them to lower the left field wall and bring it in some. 2 years ago, they brought in left center, center, right center, and right substantially, trying to get more offense in this ballpark. Barmas, quick throw, and Ichiro is out.
Notice how Barmas fielded that ball, knowing the runner he was going to have to throw out was Ichiro. He came in on the ball nicely, but then didn't take time to transfer. He was up and firing all in one motion.
Now Martin Prado.
And I think, Rich, even with the changes that you were describing, it's still a very fair, if not leaning a little toward pitcher park.
Prado takes a strike, and we've heard it up and down the West Coast. From San Francisco to Oakland to Anaheim to Dodger Stadium, even Seattle, and here in San Diego. The ball this year is flying better than it ever has. And that's not from us. That's from locals that have watched games in this city for 25, 30, 40 years. Don Mattingly told us that in Los Angeles. Bruce Bochy told us about it in San Francisco. And we've heard reports from the American League about Anaheim and Oakland and Seattle as well. Many talk about the dry summer that they've had in San Francisco and up in the Northwest as one reason why. That marine layer that you're so used to having at night and in the morning isn't as substantial as it usually is. 1-2 to Prado. Breaking ball hit to center. Melvin Upton Jr. is there, and he makes the catch. Marlins done in the third. 1-0 Miami. And even in California, this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority. The Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Marlins.
And back east, Rich, it's just presented to our fans later.
It is. I think there's different bylaws that kick in when it's late night with the Fish and it gets close to midnight. Dan Herron to work, top of the order for the Padres. Alexi Amarista, Yonder Alonso, Matt Kemp. This Padre makeover, the additions of Justin Upton and Will Myers. It's one guy that the Padres are missing right now. Myers out with a wrist injury. Yelich makes the catch.
Rich, you were talking about all the moves the Padres made. Their young GM, A.J. Preller, in a 36-hour span, they traded away 15 players and received 11 back. So they were wheeling and dealing.
And who knows? I know everybody wants to look at that offseason or even Miami's offseason and say, well, it was a success or was a failure for all the teams that are involved. But I think one of the things you learn, and if you want a Marlin perspective, you go back to the 2012 trade with the Toronto Blue Jays. The big sexy names that went up north and some of the guys you'd never heard of that came down to play for the Marlins. And 3 years removed, who got the better of the deal? Well, Miami very happy with the players that they got, and I think Toronto's pretty happy with the guys they have, although hot smash to Prado, flip to first. You may have to wait another year or two even on that one to get the final score.
That's usually the case with trades. You kind of have to wait and see over a 2-3 year period. You don't want to have that knee-jerk reaction too often.
Here is Kemp, and Kemp certainly was the biggest piece of the puzzle for the Padres. The 30-year-old, 9 years with the Dodgers. I'm sure when he got to the plate last night, he looked back at JT Realmuto and said, hey, what's up, homie? Midwest City, Oklahoma. Both of them from the same hometown. Different high schools. Kemp still has a good amount of money on his contract, though the Dodgers are paying most of the freight this year. He's got a contract that takes him through 2019.
So what you're saying is the Dodgers very involved in this matchup right here. Herron against Kemp.
That's right. That's a great point. Kemp not happy with that call, and he's still out of the box, which is in direct violation, but he's trying to give a message to Alfonso Marquez. See the numbers. Herron and Kemp teammates last year.
Yeah, Kemp had that remarkable season in 2011. A lot of people felt he should have won the MVP award. He didn't. Ryan Braun did. But a .324 average, 39 home runs, 126 RBIs.
That's a fair ball, and it kicks off the corner. Yelich hustling to get it. Kemp will get himself a double. Matt Kemp with a 2-out double, and the Padres threaten here in the third.
Goes down and gets a pretty good pitch. You see on Fox Tracks actually out of the zone, somehow keeps it fair, and then it hits that little corner down there that comes out in shallow left field. So because of that, it took Christian Yelich a while to get there. Kemp ended up at second base.
22 doubles for Kemp. And here is Justin Upton. Upton with an oblique strain, missed 4 consecutive starts. He did appear as a pinch hitter last night, but he makes the start here on this Friday night against the Marlins.
Yeah, a little soreness in that oblique area.
It is so much fun to watch Dan Herron pitch in this age of max effort, high velocity,
radar
guns. He's 42 pitches into this one, and his 1-1 catches the corner. He adds and subtracts, not from 97 to 93, but from 86 to 83. And that's a perfect pitch, Tommy.
Yeah, you look at how he uses the strike zone.
Just masterful.
Ate him up. He ate him up. Boy, we're able to show it to you as well. Gets a great jump, picks up the ball, tracks it, and notice how he goes right to that point where the ball came down, and he traveled 81.6 feet. Tremendous.
The Gold Glove season last year, and he has been outstanding this year. Just the one error. But of course, it's the range and the things that he does, the hits that he takes away. In Phoenix the other night, there were two balls, one to his far left and one to his far right, that if he doesn't get the exact right jump, take the exact right angle, he doesn't get to him.
Well, he made another one last night coming toward the wall near the foul line. So I don't think that Christian Yelich has done anything to not win another Gold Glove. That one he had a little trouble with his cap. Cap came off. He stayed with it, kept his concentration, and a sliding catch.
Center field, it hangs up, and Melvin Upton Jr. makes the catch. First out of the fourth. Marlins Live tomorrow, brought to you by your South Florida Honda dealers. Get you ready. Now, the times for tomorrow are a little odd. A 5 o'clock start Eastern time for Marlins Live pregame, and 5:40. Well, that's not right.
That's local time.
Yes.
See, sometimes they like to do that to you, Rich.
Thanks for that. Pitch misses outside. 8 o'clock start for Marlins Live. 5 o'clock, you and I have to be in position here.
So that does not put us in the late night with the fish category.
No, 5:40 local, 8:40 Eastern time start. Here's Justin Bour.
The other thing about Justin Ward, we talked about his at bat in the first inning, a ringing double with 2 out that drove in the run. That's his 16th RBI in the month of July. He's been extremely productive this month.
1-2 is in. Now that's a baseball term that they seem to use, or we as broadcasters or writers, you seem to reserve that for doubles. You don't hear about a ringing triple.
Or a ringing single.
Or even a ringing home run. It's always a ringing double. Why is that? That is called strike 3. Cashner, after giving up the board double, has not been touched for a hit since.
One thing he's been able to do tonight, we talked about his velocity, but he's had really good movement with his fastball, and he's frozen a couple of hitters because that ball has moved back into the strike zone.
Casey McGee had the bat come out of his lower hand. He's kind of shaking that hand as he walks back around behind the umpire. Watch the swing. Pitch is in. And it's a ball and a strike. McGee lined out to center back in the first. I mean, the board double is it. The walk and the stolen base by Ichiro helped set up the run. Cashner's been able to get there, get to the corners, and stay there with a good live fastball. I mean, look at that pitch. The ball right up on the black. There's Casey McGee into the gap left center. Upton to cut it off. McGee around first, and that'll be a double. Was it ringing?
Yeah, that was a ringing double, Rich. And we showed you the Fox tracks, but watch where this pitch is. Back up breaking ball. And, you know, when you're facing a pitcher who's hitting spots the way Cashner is, when he makes that mistake, you have to try to take advantage of it. Casey McGee was all over that pitch. Can it be a booming double?
No. It's a booming home run, right? It could be a hustle double, a bloop double, a wind-blown double, and a ringing double.
I think more of a wind-blown home run than wind-blown double.
Yeah, you're right. Miami has 2 of those doubles here tonight. I don't think you get too many wind-blown anything here in San Diego, do you?
No, not with the calmness that we're looking at. I'm finding different flags, and they're just extremely calm.
Tommy Hutton, you're the only announcer I know that here in San Diego frequents the vendors that walk below us. Tommy just procuring a bag of peanuts during that last pitch. Gillespie takes a strike.
There's some nice seats. I don't know what they call the section right below us. And every once in a while you'll see a vendor go by.
I mean, it was Tommy. You know, normally Tommy's like, there's the cash, the peanuts fly up, and he's in business. Busted bat. Barmes to first in time. McGee left at second. 1-0 Miami. Oh, there's your guy.
Padres 1-0 in the bottom of the fourth. Well, we are just a few weeks removed from this year's All-Star Game in the next two cities that will host the Midsummer Classic, San Diego and Miami. The Padres just released the logo for next year's game. You can see it right there. That game's going to be played on July 12th of 2016 here at Petco Park. And then, of course, in 2017, the All-Star Game will head to Miami. The game is scheduled for July 11th, 2017. It will be the first Major League Baseball All-Star Game for South Florida. And, guys, that should be a lot of fun.
Oh, without a doubt, Jessica. And these are two cities that are built to host an event like that. As Brett Wallace stands in, both cities have hosted Super Bowls. Both cities have hosted World Series. Major bowl games.
There certainly isn't a lack of things to do here in San Diego, as there will not be in Miami.
Plenty of hotel rooms in both locations. That last foul ball. Watch. Look out. Oh, Clay.
Clay Hensley doing some pre and post game work.
He's got his own little booth there.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, now he's like Anchorman now. We got to get him to say whammy. Here's a 2-1 pitch. And it's outside.
You get him in a bases loaded situation, he'll find a way to get out of it, though, too.
He is you talk about a guy when he was a Marlin and a Giant, a guy who didn't have overpowering stuff in terms of velocity, but had the stuff inside him to get outs. Bill Raftery's onions. That's the best description that I've got for Clay Hensley.
Maybe an A.J. Ramos type, not the full repertoire that A.J. has.
Look at how well he's cleaned up, Tommy.
Look how serious he is, too.
Oh, he's got the spread collar. That one's drilled right field and deep and way out of here.
Wow.
Brett Wallace always has been able to hit the baseball. And he touches Dan Herron for the 18th home run that Herron has allowed this year.
He's been a guy, Rich, that has just torn apart minor league pitching. Over 650 games in the minor leagues, a 300 career average. He's had opportunities at this level. Got that little cutter, it looked like, that stayed middle of the plate. He's had opportunities. We saw him with Houston as a first baseman. He's playing third base tonight. He's actually more comfortable over on the other side of the diamond. But he's always comfortable in the batter's box.
So just like that, it's a 1-1 ball game. You see, a dozen of those homers have come on the road. The breaking ball misses in to Derek Norris. Two and one. On a Friday night in San Diego, a 1-1 game. High pop up. Mathis behind the plate makes the catch. And so an out in the fourth. Lexus of Pembroke Pines brings you the Marlins schedule on Fox Sports Florida. Tomorrow, there you go, 8 o'clock for Marlins Live, 3:30 for Marlins Live on Sunday. Really nice homestand. Washington Nationals, San Diego Padres, New York Mets, and then it's on the road to face the Atlanta Braves.
Boy, the estimated distance, Rich, of that Brett Wallace home run, 431 feet.
That's a poke. That's a healthy poke. They do have a party deck there in right field. When they brought the fences in, the Jack Daniels deck, the Jack deck, much like the Party City deck up in New York with the Mets. Citi Field.
The one thing about Dan Herron and the home run ball, you mentioned 18, he's allowed 13 have been solo shots.
Upton went around. Now, you described Wallace as a guy that has torn up minor league pitching. That's all he saw last year. He didn't play an inning in the big leagues. 2013. It's the last time he'd homered in the big leagues. Down goes Upton. Melvin Upton strikes out. There's 2 outs.
Just a perfect pitch to get a guy who has hit Dan Herron very well. We kind of chronicled that his first time up. Melvin Upton with 6 career home runs against Dan.
So here's Barmes, who was hit by a pitch. If you're just happening by, it's Dan Herron and Andrew Kashner. Game 2 here in San Diego. Miami got a run in the first. Ichiro with a walk, a stolen base. And he scored on a Justin Bour double. Brett Wallace, getting a rare start at third, has injected some power into this Padre lineup. As Tommy pointed out, blasting one to right, 431 feet?
431. Yeah, I think manager Pat Murphy wanted to just get a little offense going in his lineup. And also wanted to get another left-handed bat in there with Wallace.
Pat Murphy played in the minor leagues, has managed in the minor leagues, and yet many people say, well, he's a college coach. Well, he was, and he was very successful, but he does have roots in the professional game. And he's a graduate of Florida Atlantic.
Yes, we were talking about that today. And he has a terrific bench coach right alongside him in Dave Roberts.
Thrower to short. Echeverria gathers and throws out Barmes. Brett Wallace ties this game, and after 4 in San Diego, it's 1-1. By Checkers. Mix and match our famous Big Buford and Big Chicken Deluxe. Get 2 for $5. Checkers, it's in the bag. By Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Price, service, selection. You're going to love us. And by the Florida Department of Transportation, reminding you, drive sober or get pulled over. Brett Wallace. A long home run to right. A chance to get himself back in the big leagues here in San Diego. And he gets San Diego even with Miami. Jeff Mathis, Denny Echeverria, and Dan Herron, bottom of the order in the 5th. A weekend of baseball here in San Diego. Barmes gets around it, makes a low throw, and it's picked there by Yonder Alonso. Nice play by the University of Miami product.
Barmes kind of surrounds this ball, but then gives Alonso a little something to work at, and he did it nicely. Does a good job at first base.
Here is Echeverria, who struck out back in the 2nd. National League East teams on this Friday. Many are done. Literally, not figuratively. St. Louis 4-2 beats Atlanta. No, the Cardinals could not get Steve Cishek there in time to pitch. At least I don't think. I haven't checked the box score, but I assume it took a while for Steve to get there. No, he didn't pitch. Kevin Segrist did, though.
You know what they're trying to do, the Cardinals? They're trying to bolster their bullpen. They've used some guys other than Rosenthal to close.
He can hit homers and he can make nice spinning plays. Brett Wallace, 2 outs. From now until September 21st, every Friday will be a Flashback Marlins Day brought to you by Ram. That's today. Submit the best vintage photo of yourself by using the hashtag Flashback Marlins. We've become a we've become a hashtag world on Flashback Marlins. Old school helmet, new school cap, sweet blue jerseys. How about those, huh?
That's nice. That's a good look. Yeah, so the Cardinals have used a couple of other guys, and then they will use Cishek most likely to bolster the middle innings when that occurs. So they're just trying to strengthen their bullpen.
Nationals lost to Pittsburgh 7-5. That's good news for Met fans, except the Mets lost 7-2 to the Dodgers. So the Mets will stay 3 games back in the East. Atlanta 6.5 back when it all began.
You mentioned the Pirates. They acquired Aramis Ramirez.
Herron out to second. Well, that was quick. 1, 2, 3 go the Fish. Halfway through, 1-1. Miami and Seattle. One of the big military cities in the United States, San Diego. On Wednesday, if you're a kid and you're coming to the game, you're eating free. The Nationals and the Marlins at 7:10. Every child 12 and under gets a coupon for a free can beef frank, bag of Frito-Lay chips, small Pepsi or Aquafina water. Get your tickets for Kids Eat Wednesday on Marlins.com. That's this Wednesday. Kids eat free. Marlin fans, I like the hat.
Run into quite a few Marlins fans in the hotel, in the lobby. What a great place to come if you want to follow your ball club. Yeah, I think I'll take that trip when the Fish go out to San Diego.
That's not a hard decision to make, is it?
No.
Andrew Kashner, and then top of the order with Amarista and Alonso. Kashner takes away. Yeah, the West is right now it's the Dodgers with the Giants hanging in there. Arizona trying to get back to 500. They were there just a couple weeks ago. Andre Rienzo just arrived.
Yeah, we had a chance to see Andre earlier this year. Just reacquainting himself with the guys down there in the pen.
Oh. You know,
and reacquainting himself in many languages.
From Sao Paulo, Brazil. Now, I mean, you talk about two great cities for Rienzo, where he's from and where he was playing in New Orleans, right? And now he's in Miami.
Joining the ball club in San Diego.
Amazing. It just gets better and better for him. Glad to have him back. Andrew Kashner pops out. And here is Amarista.
You were talking, Rich, about the Dodgers. How about the run that Clayton Kershaw's on? We've been talking about Zach Greinke over the last few weeks. But in July, Kershaw has 4 starts. He's 3-0 with an earned run average of 0.27. He's given up 1 run in the month of July.
Amarista up the middle. Prado backhand, smooth play for the second out. Major League Baseball doubleheader tomorrow. Athletics and Giants. And then at 7 Eastern, Braves and Cardinals in a game you can only see on Fox Sports 1. Coverage begins 4 Eastern. Only on Fox Sports 1. It streams live on Fox Sports Go. Here is Alonso,
who seems to always hit well. He's 0 for 2 tonight. But he's always hit well against the Marlins, his hometown team.
Do you think he misses Yasmani Grandal? I mean, they've been together for so long at Miami and Cincinnati and in San Diego. They're not far. Just up I-5 a couple hours. With Alonso, born in Cuba, moved to Miami when he was 10. Coral Gables High School, University of Miami. His father played and coached in the Serie Nacional with the Industriales in Cuba. He was on that breaking ball and pulls it foul. Clean, crisp Coors Light brings you these cold, hard facts. The pitching for the Fish. 3-1, a 1.54 in the last 4 games. Change up, smoked to right, and deep, and gone. Second homer of the night, 19th on the season, 14th solo homer.
Well, we talked about those solo shots, but this one hurts because it gives the Padres the lead. 3rd home run of the year for Alonso. Talked about his success against the Marlins. He came into the game. There's that split changeup, tumbles over the middle of the plate. Came into the game with an average of 371 in 19 career games against Miami.
Kemp to center. Gillespie's back at the track. That's gone. Another solo homer. 3-1 Padres. Goodness. All 3 runs on solo homers for Kemp, his 11th.
That ball continued to carry when Kemp first hit it. I didn't think he had enough, but he is strong. There's no question about that. 11 home runs on the year for Matt Kemp.
Justin Upton. That was a quick turnaround for the firework for that home run. And Herron misses away. So 15 of the 20 homers allowed are solo homers by Dan Herron this year.
Yeah, the back-to-back home runs coming with 2 out as well.
Upton with a big uppercut, and it brings McGee into foul territory, and he makes the catch. 2 more homers, both solo shots, 3 of them tonight in a 3-1 San Diego lead. On a solo homer in the 4th inning. That one was hit by Brett Wallace. Yonder Alonso and Matt Kemp go back-to-back with solo shots. And it's 3-1. Top of the order. This ball game has reached the 6th. Ichiro takes a fastball for a strike. Ichiro involved heavily in that only run that the Marlins got all the way back in the 1st. He walked, stole second, scored on the Justin Bour double. He was originally called out at second. Surprisingly, naked eye looked safe. Replay very safe. The Marlins challenged and it was overturned. So chalk another one up for Pat Shine down in the Marlins replay room, who I thought was hosed the other night on that the Yelich steal of second. Yelich said he was safe. It looked like he was safe, but it wasn't overturned. I think at that point the umpire said, look, let's just move the game along. We've had a beating and all of that. And I'm referring to the umpire in New York. Ichiro up the middle, backhanded there. Amarista gets the out. And we check in with Jessica Blaylock.
Well, we just saw Alexi Amarista make a play. Martin Prado making a play in that last inning to get Alexi Amarista. Before the All-Star break, Prado had only played third base. Since then, we have seen him at both second and third. I had a chance to talk to Prado and asked him, what's the biggest difference between the two positions? And he said at second base, there's so much more responsibility because you can see everything coming up the middle, including the catcher's signals. At third base, you simply just have to react. That has been the biggest difference for him so far.
Thank you, Jess. A strike to Prado, who, remember, got playing time in the big leagues for being able to play every position. And that not only got him playing time in Atlanta, it got him on the All-Star team. Though Charlie Manuel got some flack when he said, I like Prado because he can play everywhere. He's having a nice year, and he named her the All-Star team.
Well, he played a little third base, and he'd go out to left field. Chipper Jones would play some third, then he'd spell Chipper at third. And he's the kind of player that, we've talked about it all year. It's just a managerial delight. You never have to worry about telling him where to play. You don't have to worry about telling him what spot of the order he's going to be batting in.
A liner into center field. Prado's got a hit. And so with one out, here comes Yelich. Fish Family, the exclusive loyalty program of Marlin fans. Go to marlins.com/fishfamily. And your bonus code tonight is fastball. Yelich, who was lined out and struck out. Just the third hit for Miami all night. Bouncer to Wallace, high throw. Amarista will get just the out at second. Prado is going back and signaling that the Marlins should look at it. Now, this is not a neighborhood play because the throw was not accurate and it brought Amarista up. And if he didn't tag the bag here on this turn, well, I don't know if he got it.
He never did. He never did. When he jumped up to catch the ball, when he came down, he was all on dirt.
Marlins are taking their time. See if we have another look. Watch this look.
And remember, Brett Wallace, not a natural third baseman. He's in the air.
He does not land on the base. That's that. If the Marlins have that view, they should certainly challenge this. And they will not. So the Marlins will not challenge it.
Let's see if he's touching it as he leaps right there, as he leaps up. Hard to tell.
Well, you can't see the ball. Boy, it's really hard to say. from that view, the foot and the bag were kind of a blur. Has to be clear and conclusive to overturn it. Yelich at first base.
Yeah, that's tough.
Now, there are some that would say, well, what does the super slow motion look like? The reality is you don't have super slow motion on every shot. The only super slow-mo camera in this building is in center field, and it's showing pitches. So in Miami, the super slow-mo camera shoots the infield, but it's different in each part, and that's one of the things about replay that you hope in future years, when those cameras become more affordable, that you've got a super slow-mo look on every replay that you need. Yelich back with a dive.
Cashner pretty quick with his move over to first.
Hooked into right field, the base hit. Yelich isn't stopping, on his way to third. Kemp picks it up, and Bohr has his second hit of the night. And with runners at the corners, here comes Casey McGee.
All of a sudden, the way Justin Bohr is swinging the bat, you can see why it's hard to defend him and why we'll probably see clubs not shift as much as they have. Kind of hook that ball to get it in that hole on the right side. And last night, of course, a base hit over on the left side.
McGee's lined to center and doubled into the gap in left center. He drives that one foul and out of play. You know, the one nuance on that play at second, remember the neighborhood play, and that refers to when a shortstop or a second baseman is turning a double play. If the feed throw is accurate, you cannot challenge on a replay as to whether the middle infielder kept his foot on the bag.
But as you pointed out, that throw from Wallace to Amarista was not accurate. It was up high, and Amarista had to leap up to get it.
Oh, 0-2 to McGee. Cashner has been so good at getting the ball on the corner, and that one is just off the plate.
What he's done a lot is he started that ball off the plate and then got it to move just enough to catch that outside corner.
Same spot, same reaction, and let's see where it is on Fox Tracks. This one actually caught the corner.
Boy, you can see Cashner's reaction. That ball came back. He's starting to come off the mound. That's a perfect pitch.
Count 2-2.
Now, if you're Casey McGee, you know if anything's close, you better be hacking.
McGee pulls it foul. Padres have some strikeout pitchers in their rotation. And that one is outside even further now. Tyson Ross, James Shields, Cashner. Full count. Bohr runs from first. Yelich is at third. Padres a 3-1 lead. All solo homers for San Diego. And down goes McGee. Cashner gets the strikeout, and Miami leaves 2. Bottom of the 6th in San Diego. The Padres a 3-1 lead. To the St. Louis Cardinals, Kyle Barraclough, much like the pastry, but he throws a heck of a lot harder and has a nasty split as well as a live fastball. He's the Double-A closer, or was, for the Cardinals, and now he's Marlin property and goes to Jacksonville. Andre Rienzo is up from New Orleans, and he joins Miami's bullpen. Broken bat to right. Ichiro plays it on a hop. Brett Wallace hit one 431 feet to right for a solo homer his last time up. That one's in for a single. Other news of the day. Marcell Ozuna in 13 games is tearing it up right now. 362 average. Couple of home runs. You see the OPS at 996. So I guess the question, Tommy, is when will we see Ozuna? You would think 2 weeks worth of games, 13 games.
You would think soon. I actually thought we would have seen him before now. He had a 3-hit game the other night, and then he pinch hit. The next night he was 1 for 1.
Derek Norris now has singled and popped out. Melvin Upton Jr. is on deck. So it looks like Ozuna has ironed out the issues that he had to start the season. To left and deep. Yelich back off the wall, and it bounces by him. Gillespie picks it up. Holding third is Wallace, and Norris has himself a double.
Well, there have been some balls hit hard tonight against Dan Herron. The home run certainly. And this ball by Derek Norris hit hard enough and didn't have much hang time, so Christian Yelich really didn't have a lot of time to get back there. Gets a little close to the wall. That's tough to do, but good play by Gillespie to get over from center field to back him up.
Second and third, nobody out. Bottom third of the order now. Melvin Upton Jr., Clint Barmas, and then Cashner, the pitcher. Herron isn't necessarily a strikeout pitcher at this point in his career. So right now, he's trying to get an out that doesn't leave the infield. Infield is in. Wallace does not run well at third.
And keep in mind, too, we've talked about it all night. This has been a tough matchup for Dan Herron in his career, facing Melvin Upton.
Yeah, we talked about the 6 home runs. Upton singled the left in the second. Was called out on strikes in the fourth. Little tapper, runner holds, and they've got Norris caught off second. And a huge break for Miami. Echeverria tags out the Padres catcher who strayed to third. Wallace didn't budge from third base.
Norris actually takes off as if he's assuming Wallace is going to go on contact. When you're the runner at second base, you usually get a sign from your third base coach letting you know if that runner at third is going on contact. Obviously, with nobody out, and Wallace, who doesn't run that well, wasn't going on contact, and Norris got caught.
Now a ground ball gets Herron out, and he almost picks off Upton. Oh, goodness.
Saw that shot of longtime third base coach here in San Diego, Glenn Hoffman, former Major League shortstop, and also the brother of Trevor Hoffman, older brother.
Pitch misses away. One and 0. Barmas bounced out to short his last time up. Echeverria and Prado are back for 2. Another throw over. Of course, you got to deal with Upton's speed at first base.
I also think because you have Wallace as the runner at third, you wouldn't rule it out completely, but you wouldn't think squeeze. You'd like a little better combination if you were the Padres.
Barmas pops it up. Bohr over to the rail, and he needs about a 8-foot extension to that left arm.
Needs a selfie stick. I think a glove on the end of a selfie stick, he might make that play.
That's coming. The Dodgers have made the selfie pose after the home run quite popular. Adrian Gonzalez in particular.
Dodgers hit some home runs against the Mets today. Justin Turner, Yasiel Puig, Jimmy Rollins, Jimmy number 10 on the year.
Dodgers got a win from Ian Thomas, who went 5 innings, the lefty. Runner goes, good jump. Barmas bunts and pops it up, and Mathis makes the catch and throws down to first for the double play.
Amazing, because Wallace, the runner at third, was not going. Incredible.
Boy, what the heck happened? The Padres went from second and third and nobody out to a disastrous finish to the 6th. The bunt by Barmas, the throw by Mathis, and Herron's out of it. Number one, to figure out what the heck happened in that inning. Number two, a defensive substitution as well. Alexei Amarista goes from second base to third base. Jed Jerko into the ball game, and he's now at second.
He's trying to explain things to Dan Bellino, second base umpire. So Wallace stays put. Whether it was a squeeze or not, we'll really not know. He bunts it, he pops it up, but while he was doing that, Upton was on the move. He was taking off for second base. Look at Pat Murphy, can't figure it out either.
Well, Cashner's still in, so it's straight up Jerko for Wallace, and Gillespie lashes one in the gap right center. It's going to scoot to the wall. That might be three. Gillespie's thinking that way, around second, on his way to third, and he's in there. Cole Gillespie triples to open up the seventh.
Well, the Marlins with a couple of doubles and a triple on the evening. This is just great hitting by Gillespie. Pitch, it was down a little bit, hammers it in that gap in right center. Once it got to the wall, you knew with his speed he had a chance. And there he is at third base. Good throw from Jerko, who just came in the game. Make that fairly close on the relay throw.
First triple of Cole Gillespie's career.
And that's a surprise. Sean Kelly getting loose for San Diego.
That was Pat Murphy that made the trip, it looks like. So he went out to talk to Cashner. Here's Mathis. Now the Marlins will try to get this run home. Infield back. If Mathis can put it in play up the middle, it'll cut the lead to one. Cashner's thinking strikeout, and he gets a strike on the inside corner. Pitch is in.
Jeff Mathis right now thinking about contact. Contact, get a run in.
Remember, Brad Hand was warming up last half inning. Heron is 3 hitters away. That one is popped behind first. Alonso and Jerko. Jerko makes the catch. And holding third is Gillespie.
Unfortunately, not that contact. Got under it. Pop fly keeps Gillespie at third base.
Now Echeverria. We'll see what the Padres do at their infield. Barmas at short, Jerko at second.
Now you have Derek Dietrich in the on-deck circle.
Middle infield still back. Cashner for the windup. Busted bat, sawed him right off. Wow. Well, a pop up and a weak ground ball. And Cashner is 2/3 of the way out of it.
He's made a couple of really good pitches. That was certainly to Echeverria. So now Derek Dietrich will get an opportunity.
100 pitches for the tall Texan, Conroe, Texas, Andrew Cashner.
First round draft pick of the Cubs out of TCU and came here for Anthony Rizzo.
Wow, it's certainly the Padres thought a lot of Cashner, and the Cubs thought a lot of Rizzo. And right now, you have to say that Chicago has the best of that deal.
The time of year, certainly we hear names. We've heard Latos, we've heard Dan Heron, and trade rumors. The same could be said with Cashner. His name's been out there. as has James Shields.
1-0 to Dietrich.
As has Ian Kennedy's.
Brian Morris is up. Brad Hand is ready. Dietrich, an impressive slash line. 301 average, 370 on base, 548 slugging. 3 for 11 as a pinch hitter. Ouch! Hit him. And Dietrich will take his base. It sounded like it hit something solid, and possibly it's the pad on that right elbow. Let's hope so. Let's hope it wasn't the right elbow itself.
He's reacting as if it hit that pad, and it did. He has that knack of leaning, turning on a pitch that's in. So he extends things and gets Ichiro to the plate. Now Barry Hill can wear that pad.
Yeah, just in case something comes his way.
Yeah.
Ichiro now. Ichiro's bounced out twice and walked. Oh for 7 in this series is Ichiro. Gillespie at third. Dietrich at first. Ichiro. And Jerko makes a stumbling catch. And the inning is over. Miami leaves a pair. 7th inning stretch in San Diego. 3-1 Padres.
With the throw, he's out, but that's 3,000 hits for Craig Biggio.
We have the newest member of the 3,000 hit club.
3,000 hits for Craig Biggio, the 27th man to reach that figure.
On this date, 2007, as you just saw and heard, Craig Biggio announced that he will retire at the end of the season. He'll be inducted in the National Baseball Hall of Fame on Sunday. This is quite a weekend, and we're already reading about it and seeing it. Now, the Padres have a presence in Cooperstown, and that is because their television voice, the legendary Dick Enberg, is going into the broadcasters wing.
And the broadcast ceremony to be held on Saturday, the day before. And, of course, John Smoltz, Randy Johnson, Pedro Martinez, along with Craig Biggio, will be inducted on Sunday. So, yeah, a great weekend in Cooperstown. And might not be the best weekend to try to go with the crowds, but if you've never been to Cooperstown, It is a fantastic trip, especially if you have any interest at all in this great game.
Has there ever been an incoming class like this in modern times that has 3/5 of a lights-out rotation?
It's a heck of a rotation.
I mean, seriously, Pedro, the big unit, and John Smoltz.
There has been that question as Brad Hand comes in here to work. There has been that question since those three were named that's been asked often. If you had a big game, which one of those three would you like?
I think what you need to do is just ask Biggio. Right?
Yeah.
Here's a 1-1. Brad Hand to Abraham Almonte, who's pinch hitting for Andrew Cashner. So both starters are done. Cashner goes 7. And the Marlins manage just the 5 hits, 1 run.
It's been an interesting stretch. I'm sure it's been a difficult stretch for Brad Hand. His last 3 outings have been here in this month, and they've been about a week apart each one. And that should have been strike 3. What's right there? Yet in 3 1/3 innings over that time, Brad Hand is not allowed to run.
Well, that's a strike that we know, and an out in the bottom of the 7th. On Sunday, August 2nd, the Marlins and the Padres. Yes, the Padres are coming to South Florida. You can pick up the Pepsi 4 for $74 pack. Bring your dog. Bark at the Park Part 2. The Humane Society of Broward County, always a great host and a great charity as well. Fans get a Marlins All-Star poster courtesy of Franklin Dodd Communications. Go to Marlins.com today. Alexi Amarista. Mark Grant, the affable analyst on Padres television, calls Amarista a baseball ninja.
He has some great lines. He referred to Ichiro as the Sultan of Slap. You saw the home runs tonight hit off Dan Herron. Talked about the solo home runs. The major league leader is in the ballpark as far as allowing solo home runs, and it's James Shields. Shields has allowed 20 home runs, 17 solo shots.
You saw sitting in with Mark Grant, filling in for Dick Enberg, Jesse Agler, who used to be part of the Marlins radio team, pregame, postgame, fill-in play-by-play, and is now in that capacity here in San Diego. On the television side, also does some radio.
Fills in 30, 40 times in the absence of the Hall of Famer Dick Enberg. Jesse, South Florida guy, went to the U.
That's right. One, 2 from Hand. Good breaking ball. Brad Hand has struck out the first 2 hitters he's faced here in the 7th.
Joaquin Benoit getting loose, as well as Brian Morris.
Yonder Alonso.
And I would imagine if this inning extends beyond Alonso to Kemp, we would see Brian Morris. Boy, Brad Hand's come on and made some really nice pitches.
Yeah, as you pointed out, it's almost an impossible situation for a guy like Hand, who's not getting regular work, to no fault of his own and no fault of his manager, just the circumstances, to come in and look as sharp as he looks right now. Because he's on the corners. That breaking ball has a
A crisp, clean bite.
Look at that, Alonso this year handling left-handers very well.
To left, it's pretty well hit. Yelich has room and the catch, and a 1-2-3-7 for Brad Hand. Miami in San Diego and down 2 headed to the 8th. Inning. Our Greg high def highlights. Right now it's 3-1 San Diego.
Well, I don't know about booming, but a screaming double by Justin Bour brought home Ichiro for the Marlins run. But all of a sudden a solo home run came into play. Brett Wallace with a 431-foot blast. Then in the 5th inning, back-to-back shots. Yonder Alonso, number 3 on the year for him. Well over 400 feet. Straightaway center field on a pitch up, a mistake pitch from Heron. And Matt Kemp hits his 11th. So the Padres have homered 3 times, all solo shots. The Marlins got their run in the 1st inning. And that's how it stands here as we move into the 8th inning, a 3-1 game. Joaquin Benoit comes in for San Diego.
Benoit, you see the ERA down in the low 2s. Marlins with their 4-0 lead late in last night's ball game, able to avoid the back of the Padres bullpen. And a strike to Prado. And of course, Craig Kimbrell is looming. He was 26 of 27 in save opportunities this year. Prado, Yelich, Bour. Back to Benoit. 1 out. Flashback Marlins Friday, brought to you by Ram. You hashtag it Flashback Marlins and smile like that. Smile. Come on.
Okay.
There you go. Now tweet it, and you might get on the postgame show. Yelich 0 for 3, and he takes the ball from Benoit.
Christian Yelich has yet to reach base, the fielder's choice. I don't think that counts, does it, in a consecutive on-base stretch?
I don't think so.
He did reach his last time up. It does not count. So try to extend it. 22 consecutive games. Christian Yelich has been on base.
I think catcher's interference would. A line drive off the runner at first would. We just learned that last week.
Reaching on a dropped 3rd strike. would not count.
Or pitcher's indifference, which I guess is another way to say. There's defensive indifference.
Well, pitchers are indifferent to most hitters.
Three and one. Yelich as usual, deep in the count. Full count, 3-2. Got Justin Bour behind Yelich. It's just a baseball. Boy, especially with the kid there in the aisle right on the rail. Yelich walks. There you go, Hut.
There it is. By the way, that's the 64th time this year that Yelich has gotten a count to a 3-2 count.
Now Bour, who was doubled, singled, and struck out. Changeup is pulled foul. The Phillies, the only team in the East to win on this Friday. In 10, they beat the Cubs 5-3. The Mets lost to the Dodgers 7-2. Cardinals beat the Braves 4-2. Nationals lost to the Pirates 7-5. Oh, 2.
Yeah, a rare poor game for Max Scherzer. Gave up 7 hits and 5 runs in 5 innings. Did strike out 8 though.
Soft pop. Amarista. And there are 2 outs. How about the Astros debut of Scott Kazmir?
Well, it certainly gave the Astros what they were looking for.
Yeah, they shut out Kansas City 4-0. And Kazmir was outstanding from Oakland. He gets the win. 7 shutout innings, gave up 3 hits. McGee.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier about the Pirates acquiring Aramis Ramirez from Milwaukee, and remember, Ramirez signed with the Pirates back in 1994. That was his original organization. He played 6 years with Pittsburgh. 380 career home runs for Aramis Ramirez.
McGee's doubled, lined out, struck out.
You look at these situations, Rich, and you realize you go game to game, and sometimes you can maybe let it slide that Big G, Giancarlo, is not in the lineup, but a little over 20% of the Marlins RBIs have been produced by Giancarlo.
As well, you also, and we showed earlier the numbers, you think about getting Marcell Ozuna back and getting him back to where he was last year. His numbers in New Orleans have been very, very encouraging in his 2-week stay. He's swinging the bat quite well. Little check swing. Jerko gets the out, and Joaquin Benoit gets through the 8th. Matt Kemp has a homer. 3-1 San Diego.
Well, it is a Hall of Fame weekend. We've talked about players who are going into the Hall. What about an announcer that deserves some attention? How about Dick Enberg? He has been awarded the Ford C. Frick Award, and for good reason. He has a 49-year career in broadcasting, 6 seasons with the Padres, 20 years of calling baseball games. He said he's been working on his speech for this weekend for weeks, and it is going to be all about being a dreamer. He says that you dream about your teams winning championships. You dream about being able to cover baseball. And guys, he has had an incredible career. That is a well-deserved honor for Dick Enberg.
It sure is, and it sure will be a special weekend in Cooperstown this weekend. As Tommy pointed out, Dick Enberg goes in tomorrow. The players' induction on Sunday. Brian Morris in for Miami. Matt Kemp, Justin Upton, Jed Jerko due for the Padres. Miami down a couple, 3-1. Flurry of trades over the last couple of days. The Marlins involved today with Steve Cishek going to the Cardinals. The New York Mets have acquired a couple of players from the Braves. Juan Uribe and Kelly Johnson are now New York Mets. They go from the Braves in exchange for a couple of pitching prospects.
Well, I've been trying to, the Mets have, get a little pop, some bats. Uribe could fill that role at third base. Kelly Johnson could play different positions.
Do you think Met fans are going to be happy about that, or are they going to be?
Well, they didn't have to give up too much. Give up minor. They didn't have to give up any of their top names.
That one fouled back, but the Met fans want a substantial bat, not Joey Bats and from Toronto.
Well, you know, Uribe has postseason experience. If he gets on a roll, he can certainly produce for a while. Are Met fans ever happy? That's the question.
Matt Kemp swings and misses.
We'll have to check with our Mets insider to find out if he's happy with Uribe and Kelly Johnson.
Here is Justin Upton. So the Marlins today trading Steve Cishek. In case you haven't heard, the Fish got a Double-A closer, Kyle Barraclough, 25-year-old who went to college at St. Mary's and grew up in Santa Clara, California, in Silicon Valley. In 4 minor league seasons, his ERA is under 3, 2.83. Now, the Padres are rumored to be sellers, not buyers. I was live after the game, brought to you by Checkers. Upton swings and misses. Justin Upton is a guy who is a free agent at the end of the year, and thus might be a guy that the Padres would part with.
Well, it could be and it will be, I'm sure, an interesting week next week as you get closer to the deadline, the 31st. Marlins will be home during that time.
Brian Morris. That's a strike. 2-2 to Justin Upton. Brad Hand a 1-2-3 7th. Dan Herron went 6. 3 runs, all solo homers. Yonder Alonso, Matt Kemp, Brett Wallace. And the Marlins getting the back end of San Diego's bullpen. Alonso on the right, Kemp hitting his 11th. In the hole, Echeverria backhands, loads up, and fires a seed to first.
Boy, he has just been slick. 30 consecutive games without committing an error, just 4 on the season. I don't know if he will. He should, but he's had a Gold Glove season.
Yeah, Echeverria, there are so many different numbers to measure defense. The range factor, zone rating, fielding percentage. I'm a guy I like the good plays minus bad plays minus errors. The Gold Glove is decided by a vote of coaches and managers, and the I believe it's 25% now is on defensive ratings and advanced numbers.
Well, the bottom line, we've been able to witness Gold Glove defense all year.
Jed Jerko's first at bat. Brian Morris misses down low. Jerko, a guy who had a great start to his major league career. 23 homers, 26 doubles in 2013. Got a nice contract, $33 million contract.
It's a 5-year deal.
And then kind of fell flat last year. Hit just 210. Hit just 10 out of the park. Echeverria gets the out. And Brian Morris goes 1-2-3. Craig Kimbrell coming in 3-1 San Diego. For the last time, at least on the schedule, a late night with the Fish. Here on a Friday night in San Diego, Petco Park, and a familiar foe for the Marlins and their fans is on the mound. Out of the Padre bullpen, Craig Kimbrell. Kimbrell, you thought would be a Brave for life, right? I mean, he certainly fit in there and excelled there, but the Braves rebuilding, retooling, did not want an expensive closer, and now the Padres have him.
Look at the numbers, and we've seen all of those in his 36 career games against the Marlins. They have touched him up for 3 losses, but the ERA 1.54. Craig Kimbrell now in his career 212 saves. Coming into this season, 4 years in a row, 42 or more saves.
Cole Gillespie takes outside. Donovan Solano is on deck. And then you've got a Danny Echeverria before the 9 spot comes up. Gillespie tripled in the 7th. That's a painful inning. That was a leadoff triple, and the Marlins couldn't budge him from 3rd. Jeff Mathis popped out. Echeverria bounced back to the mound. 97 with the fastball.
Last 2 have been at that 97 mile an hour number. Kimbrell with that, also that nasty breaking ball, hard slider.
That iconic Silver Surfer stance. Swings that left foot up.
Probably more appropriate here in San Diego than in Atlanta.
Maybe more appreciated here in San Diego. But in his 4-year window, as dominant a closer as you find. There's the breaking ball. Gillespie, a nice job to hold up. Since 2011, Kimbrell leads all major leaguers in saves. The next closest is Jonathan Papelbon, and he's 58 saves away.
Well, even this year with a team that has 44 wins, Kimbrell with 26 saves. That fastball just got away from him.
To right. And it's hauled in there by Kemp. So Solano gets the at bat now with 1 out here in the 9th inning. Dan Jennings and the Marlins winners last night. You see JT Real Muto ready if needed.
And Donovan Solano actually 2 for 7 in his career against Kimbrell.
Could hear some fireworks.
Yeah, couldn't tell if that was my headset or if there were actual fireworks.
I don't know if that's coming from Balboa Park. It sounds like it's just up the hill. Ah, the symphony. That is the San Diego Symphony, which is actually on the water. And I happened to walk by there. They were rehearsing this morning. Boom. Solano hit. And a board, and The Marlins have a base runner with 1 out, down 2 in the 9th.
Well, you sit around all night, and then you're called on to pinch hit against a tough right-hander such as Craig Kimbrell, and another fastball gets away from him. Solano does his job. He gets on base.
Echeverria lifts it down the line and deep and foul. Danny Echeverria is 0 for 3. He's bounced out twice and struck out.
Yeah, there is that little area down the right field line where you can sneak a shallow home run to.
Michael Morse is on deck. There's that little Petco porch, they called it.
Yeah, you kind of drop one in the first or second row there.
Of course, you've got that upper bar has got the gold tape on it. That doesn't mean if you hit it, it's a home run. It's a point of demarcation for an umpire to try to determine if it goes past it or lands before it. Just makes it a little easier to see. Meanwhile, Kimbrell, the count 2-1. Two and 2. Runs the count full to 3-2.
Now you can see by the velocity, certainly his stuff is there, but right now Kimbrell not with the command that we've seen him have in the past.
Well, his last outing was 4 days ago against the Giants. And you can see he threw just 4 pitches on Monday. A 4-pitch save. He's out. No appeal. The home plate umpire, Alfonso Marquez, said that he swung.
Yeah, that was the thing I was looking for, to see if Marquez called that on the pitch or the swing.
Toyota trend. Strikeouts per 9 innings in home games. The Padres, as we talked about, they have strikeout pitchers in their rotation. They certainly have one at the back of their bullpen. One of the very best, if not the best, strikeout closer of all time. Lower Oldest Chapman is right in there as well. Michael Morse. Low fastball. And it's 1-0. Two outs.
Alonso now playing behind the runner, Donovan Solano.
Morse 1 for 8 as a pinch hitter. Solano takes the base. Kimbrel misses to Morse. And if you're Michael Morse now, you're going to get a 2-0 pitch, and you would expect it to be a fastball. Let's see if that's exactly what Kimbrel throws.
Well, he's all over the place now.
It was a fastball at 98 miles an hour, but it's out. Ichiro on deck. At 98, a strike.
Well, he's been 97 and 98 since coming into the game.
As you saw in the workload, it's a fresh arm, a 4-pitch save on Monday.
So really, in about a week, he's thrown 4 pitches.
Three and 2. Up and in. And Miami has the tying runs on base. 2 outs in the 9th, and here is Ichiro.
JT Realmuto is going to pinch run for Michael Morse. Some would be saying you could have pinch hit Realmuto and saved the player.
Ichiro (0 for 3), walks, stole a bag, and scored back in the first. He lined to second with a pair of runners on in the 7th. And a strike. Andrew Kasher went 7, gave up just a run. Dan Herron went 6. He gave up all 3, and all of them came on solo homers. Ichiro takes in. Ichiro has faced Craig Kimbrel just once. He's 0 for 1. Counts 2-1.
24 pitches to this point now for Kimbrel.
Donovan Solano's at second. JT Realmuto is at first. Ichiro, a ground ball. Jerko has it, throws the first and gets it. Jed Jerko seals the deal tonight, and the Padres even the series at